In 1980, the average 30-year-old man had a testosterone level of 600 nanograms per deciliter. Today, that same 30-year-old, 300, half. This isn't aging, this isn't genetics. Something in our modern world is chemically castrating an entire generation of men, and most of them have no idea it's happening.
Before I show you exactly what's destroying your hormones and how to fix it, hit that subscribe button right now, because YouTube is going to bury this video. The companies profiting from your hormonal decline don't want you seeing this information. This is the most important health information a man can have in 2024. Subscribe so you don't lose it.
In 2007, a researcher at Massachusetts General Hospital was reviewing testosterone data from thousands of men. He noticed something disturbing. A 40-year-old man tested in 2004 had testosterone levels 17% lower than a 40-year-old man tested in 1987. Same age, same health status, but drastically different hormones. At first, he thought it was a data error, so he expanded the study. 1,500 men, then 5,000, then 15,000. The pattern held. Every single year, testosterone levels were dropping by 1 to 2%. That might not sound like much, but over 40 years, that's a 50% decline. In just 4 decades, men lost half their testosterone, and this wasn't just happening in America. Studies from Denmark, Finland, Israel, Japan all showed the same terrifying pattern. Testosterone was collapsing globally, and it was accelerating.
The first obvious suspect was obesity. Men today are significantly heavier than men in 1980, and fat tissue does something devastating to testosterone. It converts testosterone into estrogen. Your fat tissue contains an enzyme called aromatase. Aromatase literally transforms testosterone into estrogen. The more fat you carry, especially around your belly, the more testosterone you're losing every single day. But here's the problem. When researchers controlled for obesity, comparing men of the same weight in 1980 versus 2024, the testosterone drop was still there. A 180-pound man today has lower testosterone than a 180-pound man 40 years ago. So obesity is part of it, but it's not the whole story. Something else is attacking testosterone, something environmental.
In the 1970s, a new class of chemicals entered our environment. They're called endocrine disruptors, and they're designed to mimic or block hormones in the body. The most common ones are BPA from plastics, phthalates from personal care products, and atrazine from pesticides. These chemicals look like estrogen to your body. They bind to estrogen receptors and activate them. One study gave male frogs water contaminated with atrazine, a pesticide used on 80% of corn crops in America. The male frogs literally turned into females. Their testicles transformed into ovaries. They started producing eggs. We're not frogs, but we're exposed to these chemicals every single day. Your plastic water bottle? BPA leaches into the water, especially if it's heated or old. Your shampoo and body wash? Loaded with phthalates. Your receipt from the store? Coated in BPA that absorbs through your skin. A study measured phthalate levels in men and found that those in the highest exposure group had testosterone levels 20% lower than those in the lowest exposure group. 20%, just from chemicals in everyday products. And here's the terrifying part. These chemicals accumulate. They build up in your fat tissue over years, so even low daily exposure compounds into hormone disruption over time.
But chemicals aren't the only problem. Modern life itself is destroying testosterone. Let's start with sleep. Men today sleep 1.5 hours less per night than men in 1960, and your body produces testosterone during deep sleep. Cut your sleep from 8 hours to 5 hours for 1 week, and your testosterone drops by 15%. Then there's movement. Men in 1980 moved their bodies, not at the gym, through daily life. Work was physical, walking was necessary. Today, the average man sits 13 hours a day. Sitting crushes testosterone. Studies show that men who sit for more than 8 hours daily have testosterone levels 20 to 30% lower than men who move regularly. Your body interprets prolonged sitting as, this man doesn't need to be strong, and downregulates testosterone production. And stress. Chronic stress produces cortisol, the stress hormone, and cortisol directly suppresses testosterone production. They compete for the same resources in your body. Men in 1980 had stress from work and family, But they didn't have 24/7 digital stress, no constant emails, no social media comparison, no news alerts every 5 minutes triggering their fight or flight response. The modern man lives in a state of perpetual low-grade stress. His cortisol never comes down, and his testosterone pays the price.
So what does this testosterone collapse actually mean? It's not just about muscles or sex drive. Low testosterone affects everything. Men with low testosterone have double the risk of depression. They have 40% higher rates of obesity. They're 3 times more likely to develop type 2 diabetes. Their risk of heart disease increases by 30%. But there's a bigger consequence: fertility. Testosterone is required for sperm production, and sperm counts have dropped 50% in the same time period that testosterone has dropped 50%. This isn't coincidence. We're watching human fertility collapse in real time. If this trend continues, experts predict that by 2045, the majority of couples will require assisted reproduction to have children. And here's what keeps me up at night. We're in the first generation experiencing this. We don't know the full long-term effects yet. We're the experiment.
But here's the critical point. This isn't irreversible. Your body wants to produce testosterone. It's designed to. You just have to remove the barriers and give it what it needs. Stop drinking from plastic bottles. Throw out products with phthalates. Stop touching receipts. Get 8 hours of sleep in a dark room. Move your body throughout the day. Lift heavy things twice a week. Eat real food, not processed chemicals. These aren't minor tweaks. These are survival strategies in a world that's chemically attacking your hormones. Every man watching this is under assault. The question is whether you're going to fight back. Your grandfather didn't need to think about this. He lived in a world that supported male hormones. You don't. You live in a world that's systematically destroying them. But knowledge is power. Now you know why your testosterone is half what it should be. And more importantly, you know exactly what to do about it.